Good morning, friends. Myself, Dr. Pranat Majmudar, your AP in ENT. Today, our topic is acute suppurative otitis media. Today, I want to make it more interesting. If I will go by bacteriology, pathology, anatomy, it will be a boring lecture and you will go to sleep, and we don't want that. Okay, so I will represent this topic in a bit dramatic or a practical manner, and let us start our journey. Suppose you have become a gold medalist ENT surgeon. You are a fresh ENT surgeon. It's a Diwali time. You have gone through all sweets, firecrackers, rangolis, guests, and you are having happy time. All have gone to sleep, and at 2 a.m. in the morning, your phone rings. Train. You wake up. On the other end, there is a heavy voice, and he will say that I am Commissioner of Police of your town, of your city, and my child has got severe pain, and when can we meet? Where shall we meet? There is no way to escape from this situation, and you will ask them to come to your clinic. You will rush there. But what comes to your mind before reaching your clinic is the diagnosis of acute suppurative otitis media. This is most common, or other different diagnoses are any trauma or any foreign body in the ear. Now you are reaching your hospital, you are examining that crying child, all relatives are panicked. You examine with your otoscope, and you will see appearance of tympanic membrane like a cartwheel appearance, and a bulging reddened tympanic membrane, and you will come out with the diagnosis that your child has got ASOM. I am prescribing you antibiotics, decongestants, painkiller, and other treatment, and he or she will be fine, and you show me after 5 days. Okay, this is a practical happening, and naturally they will ask for fees, and you deny, and you come home. But after 2 days they will ring you up. Okay sir, my child is very fine, thank you so much. Okay, this happens. So carefully listen this lecture, and now we will go in detail of this lecture. Okay, so what is acute suppurative otitis media? Otitis means inflammation of ear, and otitis media means inflammation of middle ear. So ASOM is acute inflammation of middle ear cleft by pyogenic organism. It is more common in infants and children. It follows URTI, and it is either via eustachian tube most commonly, or via external ear. Blood-borne route is uncommon. Now, what are the predisposing factors? They are recurrent attacks of common cold, URTI, measles, diphtheria, etc. Whenever patient gets recurrent tonsillitis, adenoiditis, chronic rhinitis, sinusitis, nasal allergy, nasopharyngeal tumors, nasal packing, and cleft palate. So, any pathology of nose and throat also can lead to acute superior otitis media. In infants and children, most common infection is Streptococcus pneumoniae, H. influenzae, and M. catarrhalis. And less common are Streptococcus pyogenes, Staph aureus, and Pseudomonas. So there are 4 stages of ASOM. First is the stage of eustachian tube occlusion. What will you see in this stage? Retraction of tympanic membrane with some effusion in middle ear. There will be some deafness and earache, but without fear. You won't have fever. In this case, you will find tympanic membrane retracted, handle of malleus foreshortened, and prominent lateral process of malleus. You will not see cone of light, that is light reflex. And if you examine by tuning-fork test, you will find conductive hearing loss. Second stage is stage of pre-suppuration, in which pyogenic organisms invade, inflammatory exudate appears, tympanic membranes becomes congested, there is marked earache, high degree of fever, and child is restless. And as I told you earlier, TM will appear like cartwheel and you will have conductive hearing loss. See this tympanic membrane, it appears like this. This is second stage. Now this is third stage of suppuration, in which pus is formed in middle ear and mastoid. Tympanic membrane starts bulging to the point of rupture, excruciating earache, deafness increases, high grade of fever, sometimes vomiting and convulsions, and landmarks are lost in tympanic membrane, and you can see impending perforation. Yellow spot may be seen on TM, and if you go for X-ray, it will show clouding of air cells. Bulging of TM looks like this. The last stage is stage of resolution, in which tympanic membrane ruptures with release of pus, and as soon as pus is drained out by perforation, the pressure is reduced, so pain goes. External mucosa may contain blood stain discharge, which may become mucopurulent, and you can see small perforation in anteroinferior quadrant. One more stage is also seen in unfortunate patients, in which virulence of organism is high or resistance of patient is poor, and depending upon where there is which area is affected, complication arises like acute mastoiditis, subperiosteal abscess, facial paralysis, labyrinthitis, petrositis, extradural abscess, meningitis, lateral sinus thrombosis, and brain abscess. But usually these complications are rare in today's treatment, or you can say with the emergence of better treatment, the stage of complication usually doesn't arise. I told you earlier, we have to give broad spectrum antibiotics, decongestant nasal drops, oral decongestants, analgesics, antibiotics, oral toilet, dry local heat, and if patient doesn't resolve by medical treatment, you can go for myringotomy. You have to puncture the tympanic membrane under aseptic condition, and bulging drum is punctured, perforated, and pus has to be drained. Here is the area where incision is to be placed for myringotomy. One another condition which is more severe is acute necrotizing otitis media seen in children and caused by beta hemolytic streptococcus, and there is a rapid destruction of all TAM, annulus, mucosa, ossicular chain, mastoid cells, and healing is followed by fibrosis, and sometimes patient can have ingrowth of epithelium that is known as secondary acquired cholecytoma. Cortical mastectomy may be required if management fails medically. Now one more condition is known as otitis media with effusion, in which there is no pus behind the eardrum. Other names are serous otitis media, secretory otitis media, mucoid otitis media, or glue ear. Here there is an accumulation of non-virulent effusion in middle ear cleft, commonly seen in school-going children, and there are two mechanisms of fluid collection. First is eustachian tube malfunctioning, and secondly increased secretory activity of middle ear mucosa. The function of eustachian tube is to drain middle ear secretion in the nasopharynx, but if it is malfunctioning, there is a collection in the middle ear. Etiology: malfunctioning of eustachian tube may be due to adenoid hyperplasia, chronic rhinitis and sinusitis, chronic tonsillitis, tumors of nasopharynx, cleft palate, palatal paralysis, and allergy. Plus, sometimes this can happen due to viral infection. What are the symptoms? Hearing loss is around 40 dB. If patient has got otitis media with effusion in very young age, it also causes delayed and defective speech later on. Patient will have mild earaches. What are the signs? The sign is TM is dull, opaque with loss of light reflex. It may be yellow, grey or bluish in color. It may show bulging or retraction, and sometimes, as shown in this picture, you can see bubbles behind the tympanic membrane. You will have conductive hearing loss on tuning fork test, Norton audiometry. If you advise exemastoid, you can see clouding of mastoid cells. In medical treatment, decongestants, anti-allergic measures, antibiotics, and middle ear aeration by Valsalva maneuver, eustachian tube catheterization, and chewing gum. Why chewing gum? Because when you chew and swallow, it opens up the eustachian tube. Surgical treatment also needed sometimes, in which meningotomy and aspiration of fluid is done. Grommet can be inserted, and in rare cases tympanotomy or cortical mastoidectomy is required. In cases where this condition is long standing, we have to consider tonsillectomy or adenoidectomy to cure the condition of otitis media with effusion. What are the sequelae if untreated? The tympanic membrane becomes atrophic, atelectasis of middle ear, that is, air is absorbed, ossicular necrosis, especially long process of incus, and due to healing of effusion, sometimes hyalinized collagen with chalky deposits are seen over tympanic membrane, retraction pocket, cholecytoma, cholecystogranuloma, and these are all irreversible. This picture shows tympanosclerosis. In recurrent acute otitis media, management is same, and it is also seen in children. Now, one more interesting is arrow otitis media. It is a non-superative condition resulting from failure of eustachian tube to maintain middle ear pressure. The function of eustachian tube is to maintain pressure in the external canal and in the middle ear. It should be, eustachian tube tries to keep it same, but whenever there is a rapid descent during air flight, underwater diving or compression in pressure chamber, eustachian tube fails to equalize pressure on both sides of tympanic membrane, that is external canal and middle ear. And you can also say as otitis barotrauma. It is another name of otitis media. The treatment is eustachian tube catheterization, oral or nasal decongestant, antihistaminics and myrigotomy. How to prevent otitis media? Avoid air travel in presence of URTI. Swallow repeatedly during descent, because with swallow eustachian tube opens, air enters the middle ear and air pressure on both sides of drum is equalized. You can do Valsalva maneuver and vasoconstrictor nasal drops. Hope you have enjoyed this lecture. Thank you so much.